60 million people dead. Who's ever had an American flag in front of his or her house and is proud of this country? There you go. Where I grew up, we weren't allowed to say, I'm proud of this country, or to have a national flag in front of the house. Unless it's Argentina, of course. Let me tell you a little bit about what happened in Europe during the most deadliest conflict in human history, the Second World War. How did the war start? In 1939, a couple of years after Hitler reached his position as dictator, some Germans dressed as Polish soldiers attacked one of their own radio stations at the border to fake a Polish attack on Germany. Hitler needed a reason to start a war that he wanted so desperately. He used the Blitzkrieg, which means flashing war strategy, to conquer about half of Europe in just a few weeks. He basically placed his tanks in all neighboring countries and declared them conquered, even the neutral ones. And since most of those countries had only a few military forces, they couldn't really do anything to stop him. But as greedy as most dictators are, Hitler didn't stop at this point. So what happens next? Germany started attacking Britain with air forces to prepare for an invasion. Thank God this campaign failed, because Britain was an excellent rally point for the forces of the United States in the years coming. Germany turned around and started attacking Russia, which was really not a smart thing to do. If you look back in history, nobody has ever successfully conquered the capital of Russia, Moscow, and kept it for very long. Russia is a very large country and very hard to conquer, especially in the winter. And they have this strange habit of throwing their people against you wave after wave. I mean, the way the Russians waste their people is unbelievable. They gave a rifle to one guy and ammunition to a second guy to support the first guy. But you would think that he has like a crate of bullets, right? He had a handful of bullets and had to follow the first guy to support him. It's like sending him into death. Therefore, Russia obviously had the highest amount of casualties, 23 out of those 60 million. At this point, Germany had Italy as ally in the south, fought Russia in the east, and Britain on the left. So a two-front war. But Germany kept its ground. So when did Germany lose ground? America joins it in. They stationed their troops in Britain to prepare. And then in the night of the so-called D-Day, they flew 13,000 paratroopers into France to clear the roads and cut off supply for the beach bunkers. A few hours later, 160,000 soldiers landed in Normandy, which is the north coast of France. Over the following year, the Allied troops, Americans and British on the left and Russians on the right, drove back the Germans all the way into Berlin, and the war was over. Today, I've told you about some very important events during the Second World War in Europe. Now, in the end, people realized that almost none of the Germans actually believed in the whole racist thing, but they were forced to follow Hitler unless they wanted to end up in the concentration camps. Imagine yourself being in the situation where you have to choose of either joining something where you know it's kind of going into a wrong direction, or risking your life getting out of it. Think about it. Thank you.